Hi everyone, this is Boris. Welcome to Sketchman Boris. So today I'll be showing you how I do this in real time on Clip Studio Paint. So I just wanted to quickly mention, if you just want to see a speed painting video or just want to see some tutorial on Clip Studio, this is not it. This is me going through not all the steps, but I'm going to skip some of them, but I'm going to show you in real time how I go from penciling to inking, coloring and rendering this Sonic picture. So let's get to it. So yeah, I just opened Clip Studio. I have Clip Studio X, and by the way, if there is a delay, I apologize. I just recorded this. I'm recording this audio after I recorded the screen recording. There's so many times I said recording, but yeah. So I just wanted to do Sonic because I saw the trailer for the Sonic Hedgehog movie with Jim Carrey, and okay, to be honest, I'm not going to pretend that I'm a Sonic fan. I mean, of course I am. I am happy that it exists, but it's not like I've played all the games. I remember very vaguely I think I played once when like a long time ago. I don't even know which console it was. It was so long time ago. But I think I also found it weird that in the trailer the look they gave him. And also I just wanted to sort of put my 2 cents in to show that the value or the beauty of 2D drawings. I mean, like when a game like Cupheads can use like frame by frame drawings to show how beautiful it can be in 2D drawings, I'm going to, so if you're interested, I will do, I'm writing a video about the translation from 2D characters to 3D for live action or for animated movies. So I think there are a lot of interesting candidates. For example, I just I was rewatching the episodes of Scooby-Doo Where Are You, and I just realized that there are 2 movies, even more perhaps, but I just know there are 2 Scooby-Doo movies, live action movies with where they did Scooby-Doo in 3D, and I hate that version, to be honest. I haven't seen the movies, but just by looking at the Scooby-Doo's look, I just don't care. Maybe I'll watch it one day, but anyway. So as you can see, I've just opened Clip Studio Paint. Sorry, I was just rambling too much. I just opened Clip Studio Paint. I just took a pencil and then just started sketching. I put the picture on the right of my screen, and yeah, so there is no... Again, so my philosophy behind doing this real-time video is that I feel like, and this is just a feeling, I feel like most... And I hate to generalize, but I have to for the sake of it. I just feel like most artists on YouTube who are who are great artists, by the way. I follow them. I love them. I aspire to be one of them. They actually assume that people sort of know what, like they I think they sort of want you to fill in the gaps. But I just wanted to show you, I don't really. I'm not creating a masterpiece here. Just so, for example, here I just penciled in a lot of things, and you will see I will skip a lot of steps forward. For example, when I'm going to coloring, I'll just show you just how I color, and then just move forward and then just show you how it looks fully colored. So here I'm just sketching in the way I see it. Usually when I do it, I combine both mediums. So usually I'm quicker on paper. So I usually pencil on paper, and then I would just take a picture and then trace it with ink on computer. But this time I just decided to do it on computer, just to the more I practice, the more I get better at using. So I just use a really simple Wacom Intuos, the cheapest one you can find in the market, and it works great. I've been using it now, I think at least for a year, and it's working great. So and of course, I don't know, So I truly believe that you need to learn to draw with whatever tool you have. So don't just spend too much money on a lot of expensive tools. Even the pencils, they just draw whatever with whatever pencil and eraser you have, with whatever paper you have, and all it, like, it's not, you know, I believe that it's not the tools that make the master. It's the, you know, you are the master. So just you just need to know how to use that. So again, here I'm just rambling on until I'm doing the sketch, but I think I'll just quickly move a little bit forward. So now when I start to ink, so I'll just do the full thing in pencil, and then I go in, I just do some like corrections, and then finally I'll go into inking. In inking, I just select the pen brush, and then I just select mapping pen. So I'm not using the G pen. I mean, I used to use the G pen, but what I noticed is that I don't know. Maybe I need to change something in the settings. When I use the G pen, there is still some transparency. It's not completely black, opaque black. So sometimes when I would color, when I would put the inks and I would color, like I would, like, I mean, okay, this is another thing. The point of the digital is that it's really easy to learn, and it's easy to make mistakes and correct mistakes. And you know, if you're doing on paper, you have to erase. For example, if you have drawn the head, and if it's too, you realize that it's too big compared to the body. If it's on paper, you just have to erase the whole head and then just draw it again. But you know, in digital, like, you could just select it with the selection tool and then just you know, resize it. But at the same time, the problem is, like, sometimes you tend to overdo it. Like you zoom in into like really ridiculous like level, like details. So I mean, you know, you just, I don't know, you just, and again, you will see that I'm not I'm also still learning, especially when it comes to coloring. I'm really bad at coloring. So there's a reason why I called myself Sketchman, because I'm really good at sketching. I'm not, I mean, I don't know, I have to give credit to myself, but coloring, I'm still learning. Like I to be honest, like, I don't really see sometimes the color harmony, like how to like marry everything together, like, you know, like I'm still working on that. You know, this is quite a really simple coloring, especially as you will see, the reference picture I'm using, it's quite, they went for like the 3D look, but I'm as you will see, I'm going more for like that manga that manga kind of cell shading look, if I can call that. So I'll just so this is the inking process. So I'm just going over the pencil, so I'll just skip it a little bit to go to the coloring. So as you can see, I'm using on the right hand side, you could see the layers. I just named them ink for the inks, pencils, and let's continue. Boring. So now I start to color. So I just, you know, I quickly go in, and I just realized that I've, you know, sometimes I forget some spaces to ink to some areas. So so I could color pick it easily from the reference picture, but you know, I just wanted to see if I could come up with that, I mean, as close as I can to that color. So for the coloring brush, I use this opaque watercolor, which is basically a flat color. So these are flats, right? So so this is what people call flats, which means there are no shadows, there are no highlights. It's just basically, it's like at this point, I am just now coloring a coloring book level kind of coloring skills are needed. You just need to, and you know, you could say, like, why don't you like use the bucket tool, like, to fill the area? Okay, to be honest, I don't know, you can use that if you want, but for some reason I don't know, I just have this, I feel this satisfaction of just actually filling those areas with my brush. So it's purely just, I know it takes time, but it's purely just for like pleasure sake. I just love filling those areas. So I put this color, and I call this skin on one layer, and you will see I will put the other color blue on another layer. So I skip to the full colored picture. So these are the flats. So now we're going to go in. So I'm just adding some. I'm going to add some shadows. So I always start with the shadows, and I had the highlights at the end. So first, so here I'm experimenting something right in front of you, which is usually, so I when I see other tutorials, people would use multiply mode in the layer for the shadows, but what I usually do is for shadows is that I would just take like black color and then just like reduce the opacity and then I would just use that as shadow. But this time at least for the form shadows, I was just going to use the multiply mode. So I just color pick basically the blue color, and I just change to as you can see I'm trying several things, but I finally just went for the blue color, picked color, and then just on multiply mode. So when I said form shadows, okay, so I know it's not like I want to use technical terms. Technical terms are there for a reason, which means like instead of saying that using a full sentence, you can just use it in one sentence. So for example, form shadows are shadows which are on the other side of the light, which means like the areas where the light doesn't touch. Okay, so that's a form shadow. So it takes the shape of the whatever surface or the shape you're putting the shadow on. And if and the cast shadow is when for example, especially on the ground, it's what shadow that the shape creates compared to from the light. I don't know how to say it. It's basically if you look at your hand, you'll have one side you have maybe a light hitting on one side, on the other side you have form shadow, and then you put that hand closer to a wall, maybe the shadow will project onto the wall, so the shadow you see on the wall is basically cast shadow, right? So here I started just like putting roughly shadow, but you'll see like I realized okay, I had an idea where, again, I'm experimenting in front of you. So I just added a folder, and then I just put all these things, and then I said, okay, if I click that button that you see right there, that looks like a button. If that, so it's like that clips it's a clip at the layer below, which means like whatever I color in that layer will affect only the area in the layer just below it. So for example, I just put I tried to use the same blue that I put in multiply mode for the brown, the light brown, light beige area, but it wasn't working. So what I decided was to bring it down just above the blue skin layer, and so now I could just draw on the shadow layer for the blue skin, and even if I like go out of the line, it will still color that blue surface. So that is very useful, and that's one of the reasons why digital painting is very easy. So this is usually what I do. Like I put the shadows on multiply mode, so I'm just going to go forward, because basically you just don't want to see me go around Okay, so I do the same thing with the beige surface. I color pick that, and then I add the additional layer on top, and then just put it on multiply mode, and then just do the same thing. So, and then I've, as you might have seen, like I reduced the opacity because otherwise it's too dark. So I usually just try to play with the opacity to see what works for me. So, and then now finally I just add one other layer that I call shadow. I just keep calling everything shadow, but sometimes you can see I change the name to shadow skin or shadow skin 1, just for me to not to get lost in all the layers, just to know that that layer is connected to like the layer below. So here so usually when I create the shadow, like I said, I just take like a brush in black color and then just reduce the opacity to 30%. Don't ask me why 30%. I just think like that feels right. So, and then I just go around for the other areas where, for example, the gloves, the eyes, and so on. So again, I fast forward too much, but sometimes when I zoom in too much, as you can see, like it gets really it gets really bad. You could see all the mistakes I make. But anyway, the point is and then afterwards at the end I add the highlights. So which means that I do the opposite thing. Instead of adding black and reducing the opacity, putting that black brush over a blue, for example, it will create like a darker blue. What I'm doing is the opposite for the highlights. I'm just putting white, and so for example I have 2 layers of white. I have one highlight where it's like I think around 30% or 40%, and the final highlight, which is like the exact point where the light is touching, I just put it like almost at like 60% or 70%. I think I'm going to increase it a little bit more because it's almost like in the picture it's almost completely white. So as you can see, like it's not it doesn't look 3D. It looks shiny, and which I really like, and I think it's so this is usually the look I like when and this is not again. So here, and then afterwards I usually play with this thing I discovered called gradient map, but as you will see I ended up not using it, but I was just playing around just to see if it like sort of enhances some aspects of my the color, because otherwise I didn't want it to be too flat. I just realized like nothing worked, so I mean, some of them just did make it like a little bit warmer, but I just said to myself, it's okay, I'm just going to leave it like this. So that's it. So if you and then I just need to sign it, Bobo. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, and as usual, please like, share, and subscribe, and share this with your friends if they are a fan of Sonic. And by the way, like if you are, if you have Clip Studio Paint, just try it out. It's this was a pretty simple, straightforward, some people would say almost amateurish thing, but that's why I am an amateur colorist. So and I don't really mind making mistakes in front of you, because why not learn together, right? So like I said, I did this real time because I really wanted people to see actually how easy it is. Of course it takes time, but just put your time, and I think you will eventually get it, and then you can create your own style from it. So until next time, this is Boris, Sketchman Boris, signing off.